Okay, we are officially live.
Yay!
Yay! It feels like it's been forever.
I know, right? It's been like a month. It feels like it.
I know because I think when I did the rabies episode, I think you had some work stuff going on, and
Yeah, work
that's
is our
been
busy season right now. We're going through craziness towards the end of the fiscal year, so
oh yeah, yeah,
it's the busy season.
but you're here today.
I'm here. I'm glad. Y'all have to excuse my voice. I'm sorry. I have horrible sinuses and issues, and you live here where we do, you're going to have it. And mine are kicked in full blast right now. So if I sound like a frog or if I happen to cough in between this, please excuse me. I don't mean to.
Well,
And clear my throat.
we're just thankful that you are able to join us today. And to do my little intro, it's Saturday, July 29th. 2017, and you're tuned in to another edition of the Missy Show. We're still your premier source for fun and informative pet topics. And for those of you who don't know, I'm your host, Jay, and joining us is my lovely co-host, Dee.
The froggy D.
My stuffy co-host, Dee, I should have said.
I'm here.
You're here. You're here. And you're here for a very unique topic.
Very unique. Jay, when you got this topic, and for everybody, this topic has been on the table for a minute. And when Jay first approached me with it, and she was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of blah, blah, blah?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "No," because I thought it referred to something else. And when she went in and explained it, and I kind of went in and read it, I was like, "Get out." So yeah, this is an interesting one.
Yeah, because I found out about it by accident because when I did the rabies episode, and I was reading a particular article and they kind of just did a blurb about it. And they were talking about like how in India there are a lot of stray dogs and stuff, and sometimes rabies can be kind of high over there. So I was just
Yeah.
doing my research on the rabies, and then they did this little blurb about something called puppy pregnancy syndrome. And I was like, what's that? And
Yeah.
when I clicked it, because I thought it was something where they were going to say that there's some type of way that puppies can be pregnant.
Exactly. That's what I thought when you first threw it to me. And I was like, oh, what's wrong with the puppies? Oh, they have a syndrome. Because we're both psyches, we're both from that world.
Yeah.
So automatically my mind goes there. And I'm like, oh, what's wrong? And then when I was like, what? I was like, really? So this was fascinating. This is fascinating.
Yeah, because it indirectly has to do with puppies, but nothing about them directly. It's not something
No,
that's afflicting puppies, it's
no.
afflicting people, men and
Yeah.
women.
Men and women, and it's amazing, but that's just a testament to the mind and its capacity to internalize and bring things up that you probably wouldn't normally think a person would bring up, but it's there. And
Yeah.
this one is a doozy. So
And I guess for those who are like, okay, well, what the heck
what
is
is
it?
it?
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to define it for you. Okay, people, and this is off Wikipedia, this definition, people suffering from this condition believe that shortly after being bitten by a dog, puppies are conceived within their abdomen. And hey, I ain't making this up. This is real, and there are other articles on it because I got some other info too. This is said to be especially likely if the dog is sexually excited at the time of the attack.
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of wondering, how do you really know? Like at the time you're being bitten by a dog, how do you know if it was sexually excited? I mean,
I don't know, because I'm like, how do you,
who
I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's something that I'm like, I mean, I have an idea, but I don't want to kind of go there right now.
Yeah, because I say this because as a kid, I was bitten by a dog. It was my pet dog, thank goodness, but I was trying to feed it out of my hand, and he sort of snipped me. But I'm just like, when you're being bitten by a dog, I don't think you're really looking in that area and like,
Yeah,
oh, it was aroused. I'm just like, how would
yeah,
you really know? But I guess maybe in their area, because this is common, a common belief
Yeah.
maybe that's something they pay more attention to. I don't know.
Exactly. And like, and what I want to do first, because I was thinking about this and I was like, I don't want people to think that we're trying to make fun of this,
No, no,
because
no.
we do recognize, because like I said, we are psyches. I mean, that's our study. That was our study when we were in university. And so we are in no way trying to make fun of this or make light of this. We just found this very fascinating and very interesting. And this is something that is legitimate and real. So we just want to investigate it. And people that are suffering from this, we understand that this is a real thing that they believe. So I want to preface this by saying this is not something we're trying to make light of, nothing we're trying to make a joke out of. It's a real condition, and we just want to bring it to the forefront because it fascinates me. I mean, it's fascinating, but the human mind fascinates me anyway. So
Oh,
but I just
yeah.
wanted to put that out there.
Yes, definitely. And they kind of classify this as a culture bound disorder. And I
Yeah,
mean, this can be within any culture because I mean, over here in America, I mean, we have our strange beliefs and things like
exactly.
superstitions where somebody else might be like, well, how could you believe that? So I think
Exactly.
this is a product of any culture, not
Exactly.
necessarily just, that culture.
Exactly. So this is a real thing, and we just want to shed some light and just kind of give you guys what we found and talk about it for a little bit because, like I said, it fascinates me. I'm just like, wow. Because the thing about it is, Jay, is like, and the things like you were saying, you getting that little piece from Wikipedia, reading from that, just kind of piggybacking off that, when they're bitten, the people are said to bark like dogs, and they've reported being able to see the puppies inside of them when looking in water and hear them growling in their abdomen, hallucination, delusional kind of things or whatever. But this is a real thing to the, can you imagine that though?
Yeah, if you really believe that, and
Exactly.
especially the poor men, because I
Exactly.
mean, they actually believe that, they will end up passing these puppy fetuses through their penis, and that
Exactly.
really, really bad.
That'll scare anybody, I would think.
Yes.
So the idea that to think that when this does happen to me, okay, this has happened to me, but how we actually deliver these are through my penis. So that would, send me into a state of something. I know if I was a man, it would send me somewhere. So this is just amazing to me. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, and a lot of people they end up going to the local witch doctors,
Yeah.
because I think a lot of this, it says the syndrome is thought to be localized to villages in several states of India. They say including West Bengal, Assam. I'm probably gonna butcher these town names,
Yeah.
or whatever. Bihar, Jharkhand, Orissa, and oh my gosh, I don't even know if I can pronounce it.
Chattiger cigar. That's
Yeah,
how.
and we apologize because I
We
know that's probably
apologize
not
because
how it's
we
pronounced, but
probably didn't get anywhere in the ball game of those names, but we tried.
yeah, yeah. So it's kind of common in some of those areas, and sometimes people commonly will go to witch doctors to who offer them oral cures, and supposedly the witch doctors claim they can dissolve the puppies, allowing them to just pass through their digestive system and be excreted out without the patient really knowing.
Exactly.
And the thing is, it's not just limited to, like, a lot of times I guess it will be easy to say, oh, maybe these are uneducated people, but they say
Yeah.
actually there are people who've gone to university and all that, and sometimes they can still believe that if they've been bitten by a dog that they're now pregnant with puppies. So it's not.
Well, and the thing is that if you grow up in a environment in a society where this is prevalent, this belief, where you've heard about this from birth, this is common, and people speak of it as if it is true, and then you've seen people who've had it and you witnessed it. So even though maybe you might have education to dispel these, to say, okay, this is scientifically how this happens, but it's hard, I guess, to look at it in that respect when you've grown up in it and right from wrong. But then you've gotten this where it's been said all throughout your life, and then you see these people that have gone through it and whatever. So I guess education, not education. I don't know. If that would deter a person if you've. I don't know. Maybe it would, but I can see where if this is something you've been taught all your life, just like other things you might have been taught all your life, the basis of it, but you go back to what you've been hit on your head with all your life. So, for
Yeah,
lack of a better
definitely.
term.
I even thought of it in terms, D, like, you know, just like you and I, we've been to university, we have college degrees and all that thing, but still, you know, like just because you go to university, you still have like your own religious belief.
Exactly.
Maybe
That's
some
what I'm.
educated, some people are
Exactly.
educated and they're atheists and they're like, well, how can you still believe in that? And you know,
Exactly.
that sounds frivolous, or how, you know, you have no proof that there's a God, you have no proof that miracles exist and all that, but yet we still believe in that, you know,
Exactly.
despite the education.
Exactly. And that's what I'm talking about. When you've grown up in a certain belief system, it that's something that's very, very ingrained in you. So even though you might have, gone to university and you've got all of these scientific facts and studies and this that says this is how this happens and we can prove and this is blah blah blah. When you've got this, bro, it's ingrained in you sometimes. So it's hard to dispel that.
And one of the things I found interesting that can be dangerous for the people who are just depending on the witch doctors and they don't get traditional help is that some of these people might actually have rabies because they've
Yeah.
been bitten by a dog who has rabies, but the witch doctors are basically telling them, hey, if you go to like a traditional medical doctor or something, what I did for you is going to fail. The treatment won't work. So
Exactly.
a lot of them, they forego going to get professional help when they really need to
Exactly.
take the anti-rabies medication. And some of them end up dying from that. But the people in their village feel like, oh, they died because they were pregnant with puppies. That's what killed them.
Exactly.
But that's not
And
what killed them.
exactly. And it's one of those things where, you might have that belief system, be educated, but you don't want to chance it because you're like, wait, maybe, hey, so it's crazy. It's crazy. I would not want to have this though. This that would drive. Can you imagine, Jay? Can you can you imagine just thinking that you have like puppies inside of you? Like,
I bet that would be a very, I don't know, it sounds like something out of a science fiction movie. So I know
yeah.
I'd be horrified. I mean, puppies are cute, don't get me wrong,
Yeah, I don't
but
want to give birth
we're
to
not
one though.
meant to
Yeah.
have them ourselves. So I would sort of feel like Sigourney Weaver, an alien or something.
I
I just
know.
feel like something's inside of me that's not supposed to be there.
And the thing about it is, if you believe in it, anything, that could possibly, you could just be having normal, abdominal gas or something. And,
Right.
you have that movement or something, and all of a sudden you're thinking, oh my God. So that would like send me into like just insanity. I would just be like, oh my goodness. That's wow. Wow.
And it's just
Wow.
interesting too that they believe that dog gametes are actually present in a dog's saliva. So
Mm,
when you get bitten, they believe in the dog spit, basically there are the little gametes that can get you
yeah.
pregnant.
Yeah. That Wow. You know what we need to do? Well, I don't know if this would be something, but I guess it'd be a topic is try to like research um the different kinds of myths and things that different cultures kind of
Yeah,
uh
that would be
portray.
really fascinating, especially if we
Yeah.
can get the myths that kind of are associated with animals, you know, and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. That would be like because I'm quite sure this isn't the only thing. I mean, I'm quite sure in every culture there's something. In every culture there's probably
Oh
something.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Because I know even with me, there are certain superstitions. It doesn't matter that I've gone to college and stuff.
Yeah.
I still don't really like to like walk under a ladder or let an
Yeah.
umbrella up in the house. It's like that may
Yeah.
not make sense to people, but I grew up with those superstitions, and my mom and it was like that. Don't let the umbrella up in the house. You know,
Yeah.
don't split the pole. You know, that's bad luck. You know,
You
so
know, what my mom will do is it's a thing of where she'll say, don't whistle. That's the thing.
yes.
Don't whistle in the house. Cause
Yes, my grandmother had that,
yeah,
but she told me that women are not supposed to whistle.
yeah.
She said it was
Women,
okay for guys, but women shouldn't whistle.
my mom has this little saying. I can't remember what it is, but it's a thing of where like, cause randomly you'll be with, I don't know. And she'll have this little saying she would say. And I'm like, what in the world? But it's,
Yeah. Yeah, my grandma,
yeah,
because she would say something like a whistling woman is like a cackling hen, or it was
yeah,
something like that that she would
comes to
say.
no good
And
end or
yeah,
something to that
exactly.
effect.
That's it. And
Yeah,
so as
comes
a
to no good
kid,
end.
I would not really will. Sometimes I would kind of test it outside. You know how you just kind of have a little, you're a little rebellious and you're like, let me just see what'll happen. Will I be shut down or whatever? But I never would do it in the house because I really believe that. So of course, all cultures have those things that they believe in that another culture might be like, that's kind of dumb. Why do you believe that? But still, you know, that's the power of the mind and the belief.
It's the power. And even when you, like you say, we have been, educated and the how things work or what have you, still when you do that, you still have that little eerie feeling of like it's just like when you see that black cat or when you walk under that ladder or when you get that feeling like, oh my goodness. So I mean, I can understand where you would have educated people but still have that belief. So it's one of those things where it's been ingrained to you since birth. It's going to be there.
And it's also interesting. I was looking on this other site where they were saying, let's see, that they consider puppy pregnancy syndrome to be the product of emotionally fueled social transmission of a mass delusional belief. So they kind of believe it's a mass delusional sort of deal.
Yeah. Hysteria, mass hysteria.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Like here in the USD, I don't know if you've ever kind of read, like we have groups of people who believe that NASA is a big fraud and that in reality, we've never been to the moon. And there's actually quite a few people in that kind of fringe, kind of end of things where they believe we've never really been to the moon and that's all staged and, that never happened. And no one's ever really left the earth. And
exactly. I mean, it's the whole belief that the world was flat.
Mm-hmm.
And if you went to the edge of it, you would fall off.
But now there are people who are coming back to that. There are some well-known people who are saying that they believe that the world is indeed flat, that we're kind of circling back to that now.
Yeah. Even though you've seen, the pictures from space where they show the earth and it is clearly round, but it's, people are going back to, no, it's flat. And if you go far enough, you will fall off. You will fall off. But it goes to show you that we all have those things. We all have those things. And this is just one of those things.
Dee, I think I see something else that we could research because in this other article that I was reading, they were saying that the puppy pregnancy syndrome thing is similar to an account of the Azande. I think that's some type of tribe or something. And the Azande believe that lesbians give birth to cats.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I thought that was interesting. I may have to look into that. The Azande. It's Azande. And they gave this anthropologist person an account telling him that lesbians give birth to cats.
Wow. I mean, it's fascinating to me. I mean, can you imagine though that all of the different things, I'm quite sure that there's probably something out there that will make the one that we're doing today look pale in comparison. So, because that was pretty good right there. That was pretty good. So, wow. Okay. All right.
There was even one I was reading about, let's see, where I think a milkman, he was bitten by a dog. And so then he believed that he was telling his people who he sold the milk to that he thought his milk might be infected.
Yeah.
I guess with the dog gametes.
Well, did you read the one about the little boy?
Was that the 11-year-old? I don't know.
Yeah, the little boy who, I think, or something had happened where he was sick in the room or sick in his house or what have you. And the mother came in and saw his vomit on the floor, whatever. And she went and she grabbed a towel to clean it up. And
yes, I hear. Yes.
Yeah. And the puppy fetus, the dead puppy fetus fell out of the towel. And so, of course, with this widely being known, they were thinking, oh, he must have been bitten or something or what have you. And later come to find out, well, the thing about it is that, the boy didn't want to say exactly because he knew where the fetus had come from. But because of this is widely known and this is, prevalent around and this is the belief, everyone bought into the fact that, oh, it must be because he's been, and he gave, he threw up a puppy fetus. Well, later on, they came to find out that the boy, I think, had went to the neighbor's house, and I think they had a dog, and the dog had, given birth or something, and he had brought one of the puppies home, and I think the puppy died or something like that. And he wrapped it up in that towel that she used to try to clean up his vomit or something like that. So, but before he would say that, he let everyone believe, that that's what it was, because everybody was saying, well, this is what it is, and he was like, okay, this is what it is, I suppose.
Wow. Can you imagine?
Even though he knew where the puppy came from.
Yeah.
He knew where the puppy came from.
His poor mother. I can just imagine being frantic, having that belief, and you think now your child is infested with puppies. And it's going through the whole village, and everybody is just like,
yeah. And everybody's saying, oh, you must take him to the witch doctor. You must take him to the witch doctor, And then the witch doctor, saying of all the things that he's done and cured and wow, it's crazy. But it's fascinating. It's fascinating.
And I bet it's also fascinating, Dee, to think about the cases of people where, say, they did not have rabies and they go to the witch doctor and maybe their symptoms disappear just simply because they believe that what the witch doctor did worked.
Exactly.
Not that they were ever really pregnant with puppies, but they just believe, okay, he gave me this salve or he gave me something to take. And it's like, okay, a couple of weeks later, I'm healed now, or whatever.
Yeah, as they said, mysterious. He gives them the mysterious herbs mixed with yogurt and flattened rice. And they said that he's like done hundreds of cases and things of that nature. And so if you believe, then of course, and they said that he's never lost a patient or anything. So if you believe, of course you're going to be healed.
Yep, unless of course you really do have rabies.
Yeah, and then
that's why I would just say to anyone who is listening to this and you do believe that you have something like that, I would suggest please go to a real medical doctor and at least just make sure you're okay and that you don't actually have rabies, because this is something serious. So just in case if a stray dog bit you, hopefully they did not have something like that. But if they did, it's better that you go and get, I don't want to say real medical. I'll just say traditional medical.
Yeah, traditional,
hospital or doctor's office or something.
Exactly. The more you can get, the better. The more you can get, the better.
And some people even have to have they have to have psychological, kind of like behavioral therapy and things like that. Because I was looking at something where someone had to be prescribed. Oh God, can I even pronounce it? I'll just say they were prescribed an antidepressant and an antipsychotic, and they actually had to have exposure therapy with the dog. And the guy was really terrified at first, and then they started slowly, having the dog be in the session with the guy, and he was on the medicine and stuff, and he slowly became tolerant of dogs, and he wasn't as afraid of them anymore.
But can you imagine? Like you said, I've been to India before, and the stray population over there is just rampant. It's just a fact. So imagine if you have this type of fear living there, if you believe in this, and you have this type of fear. I would just be beside myself because, there's stray dogs everywhere.
Yeah, it's like you wouldn't even want to come outside because you're gonna run into a dog, or if you go in town or whatever.
Imagine just one might lick you. Just the thing of licking you.
Exactly, because it's supposedly carried in their saliva, so that could still be a risk. Because this guy who had the therapy, he hadn't been bitten by a dog; he'd been scratched by a dog, so he felt like he had it from that.
Wow. This is so, the study of this would be amazing. But the thing, the way your mind will take you though, because like we were saying, they hear them, they feel them moving, they hear them growling in their stomach, they look in water and they see them.
That would be.
And I'm wondering when it said they look in water and so is it that they see the puppies? So where they see the puppies in their stomach, or are they seeing?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Their reflection, are they seeing are they getting like a full body reflection in the water and they can see the puppies through their stomach? Yeah, I wasn't clear on that part.
Yeah. So that's That's amazing. That's just amazing. I'm telling you, Jay, when you came to me with this, I was like, oh, the poor puppies. What's wrong with them? All they have a little thing. All they need some little, oh. And then when I was reading, I was like, what in the world?
Yeah, because I mean, it would have been awkward enough just to say that puppies can get pregnant, but we already know that dogs and cats and things they can get pregnant way earlier than humans do. But usually, like a puppy isn't going to be pregnant, a true puppy.
Yeah.
But that would have been interesting enough. But to say that humans believe that they're pregnant with puppies.
With puppies, and I think for somebody, you know, like here we joke about it, and I guess, you know, say, oh, you're gonna have puppies, you know, because I would always say, you know what, I love dogs so much, is I'm not gonna have babies, I'm gonna have puppies. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have puppies. So, you know, not knowing that there is a belief that some people believe that they are gonna have puppies.
Yeah, and they would not view that as a joyous event.
No, they would not say this in a joking way. Exactly.
No.
That's wow. That's amazing. We've really got to kind of investigate to see what other things that are out there, because you know that they are some stuff out there. You know that there's got to be some stuff.
And then I'd even now this is weird, but coming up, we used to in my family and just sometimes around too with different school kids and stuff, we would hear rumors. Now I actually heard a rumor here in the US of someone at one of the local hospitals, a woman giving birth to puppies. Really? I really heard that, but it wasn't because she was bitten by a dog or anything like that, but they were trying to insinuate, you know, like bestiality, like people having unnatural relations with animals. And so they're used to, because, you know, you want just one of the local hospitals here, and you know just how rumors get around, and people talk, you know, someone worked at the hospital and they say that a lady came in and she actually gave birth to puppies or something like that. And that used to freak me out enough that, I mean, wow, that would sort of terrify me. But I just remember, because I think it was this lady that my mom knew, but then I would just hear other people talk about it. And so I kind of wondered if it were true, because it was just one of the local hospitals here, and the rumor just kind of went around. And and supposedly this was something they were saying actually happened. I don't see how, but that's weird. Really,
it just reminds me of, and one of these movies that scared me as a kid was Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I think this was it. And there was a scene where this man, I don't know, it was like this dog came up, but he had a man's head on it.
Yes.
Do you remember that scene?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that scared me so bad. To this day, I don't ever want to see that movie again for that reason, because I'm like, no, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, that was weird, and of course, and then this is another thing that I'll kind of end the show on. When my grandmother used to tell me about the cat lady. She used to tell me about, now she swears that when she would sit out on her porch, she was a younger woman. This was, you know, before I think she even had my mom, and she'd talk about the cat lady that she would see walking in the neighborhood. And she said she was a woman, but in her face, she looked like a cat. And she had ears that sat on the top of her head like a cat. And she said she was terrified of the woman, but she said she would just be, you know, walking, you know, just like anyone just walking in the neighborhood, you know, because back in those days, I guess a lot of people didn't have cars, so you walked everywhere. And she would tell us about the cat lady. And she swears because she never seemed like she was just saying it to scare us or anything. And she said she didn't understand how the lady got like that. She said she never asked her any questions. She never tried to say anything to her, but she said there'd be a cat lady. That's just what she called her, the cat lady. And I was like, did other people see her? And she was like, yeah, other people in the neighborhood would see her. But I was like, okay, but how did she get like that or whatever? But you know, she wasn't gonna find out, I guess.
Well, I remember them being, she might be still alive, but the woman that they did call the cat lady. You remember that lady who had so much plastic surgery to look
yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah,
her. So, but I mean, she was helped. So
yes. Because my grandmama say no, she had the features. This lady had the features of a cat.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, a lot of weird things, a lot of interesting, fascinating beliefs that, you know, people have, and who I'm not gonna say she didn't see it. I wasn't there. That was way
exactly. You know, and you always hear those stories from back then, and you know you wonder, did that really happen? Because we have tons of them. So
Oh, yeah.
it's very fascinating, and you never know.
Yeah, some of it we'll say for our October Pet Spooktacular. Yeah, I've got some more. But but that we want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode. And who knows, we're going to be coming back on August 5th, because remember, for right now, we're still doing them every other week. And I don't know, maybe we may have to research that about the Azande tribe and
Yeah,
the lesbians giving birth to cats. I don't know.
that's some interesting stuff.
Yeah, that may be our topic. I'm not sure, but we will be sure to let you guys know. We will post that on the blog and on the social media pages later. We'll let you know what that episode will be, and we will give links to information on this episode in case you're interested in further reading on puppy pregnancy syndrome. But once again, to anyone suffering from this, please go get help beyond just your village. If it's possible and you have the money to do it, please go to a clinic or hospital just to make sure you're okay and there's no rabies involved.
Exactly.
So from us to you, we wish you guys a wonderful weekend. And Dee, we hope you feel better and
Thank
your
you.
sinus is clear and all that good stuff. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks on August 5th. Thank you for joining us.
Bye. Have a good weekend.